Hello, students. This is USA Citizenship, page 16. Chapter 9, Congress. You need page 16 and a pen or a pencil. Here are the words and people you will learn about in this video. All the pages are available on my website at this link.
When you see this picture, it means it's time for you to speak and to write. So you will pause the video and write the word and then say the sentence. If you do this, it will help you learn faster and remember the information better. All right, let's get going.
In the last video, you learned about our system of government. This is a picture of the federal government, the government for the whole United States. It has three parts. Remember the three parts or branches? In this video, we will look at this branch, the legislative branch or Congress. Remember the separation of powers? How there are three sections and each has separate powers? What does this branch do? What does Congress do? What power does Congress have? Congress is the legislative branch. The word legislative helps you remember what Congress does. They legislate. You know the word legal. If something is legal, you are permitted to do it. You follow the law. Legislate means to make laws. Congress makes federal laws. That means Congress makes laws for the whole United States. So that is what Congress does. That's their job. Congress makes federal laws. Look at your paper. To legislate is to make laws. Congress is the legislative branch of the government. The job of the U.S. Congress is to make federal laws. Remember, this is reminding you to speak and to write. There are two parts of the U.S. Congress. There is the House of Representatives and the Senate. These people work in the U.S. Capitol building. This is in Washington, D.C. Look at your paper. The two parts of Congress are House of Representatives and Senate. So here are the two parts of Congress. Each has many people in it. So where do the people come from? Let's look at a map of the United States. Here's a map of our country. Here is Washington, D.C., right here. Congress meets here in the Capitol building in Washington. The people in Congress come from every single state, from all 50 states. We vote in elections for these people. And when they win an election, then they go to Washington to make federal laws. Let's talk about the Senate. The Senate has not as many people as the House, but senators are more powerful. Do you know how many people it has? 100. The people are called senators. There are 100 U.S. senators. Here's a map of the United States. Can you guess why we have 100? Because there are 2 senators for every state. All states have 2 senators. 2 senators for each state. 100 total. Look at your paper. The U.S. Senate has 100 people or senators. Let's look at Georgia. We have 2 senators for each state. Do you know the Georgia senators as of 2022? This is Raphael Warnock, and this is Jon Ossoff. They have unusual names. These are our Georgia senators. Raphael Warnock, Jon Ossoff. Look at your paper. There are 2 senators for each state. The names of the Georgia senators are Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff. We elect a U.S. senator for 6 years. So they serve for 6 years. Look at your paper. We elect a senator for 6 years. There are 100 U.S. senators. 100 U.S. senators. They are elected for 6 years, and they represent all the people of the state. For example, we have the state of Georgia, and we have our 2 senators, Warnock and Ossoff. These 2 senators represent all the people of Georgia. So when they go to Washington, they represent the state of Georgia. They help pass laws, make laws that help the state of Georgia. Look at your paper. The senators represent all the people of the state. Let's look at the House of Representatives now. So the Senate has 100 people. House of Representatives is much bigger. The House of Representatives has 435 members. 435 voting members of the House of Representatives. Look at your paper. The House of Representatives has 435 voting members. Here is a map of the 435 representatives. The numbers show the number of representatives, the number of people who go to Washington, D.C. You see the different numbers. It depends on the number of people in the state. You have more representatives if you have more people. For example, here's a state that only has 1 representative for the whole state. It's a big state. A lot of land. This is Wyoming. But this is what the state looks like. There are not many people in Wyoming. So it only sends 1 representative. Or, look at this state, California. 53 representatives. That's the most representatives of any state. Here's a picture from California. This is Los Angeles. California has many people. So it sends many people to Washington. States with more people have more representatives. States with more people have more representatives. Here's another example. Georgia has 14 representatives. We have 11 million people in our state. Florida has 22 million people. It has 27 representatives, lots of people in Florida. We elect a U.S. representative for 2 years. So all these people we elect every 2 years. Look at your paper. We elect a U.S. representative for 2 years. So here's Georgia. Remember, Georgia has 14 representatives. You have 14 different parts of Georgia. Each part has 1 representative. Here's the Atlanta area. More people, so you have more parts, more districts. Here's where we live: Stone Mountain, Clarkston, Decatur, Tucker. Our representative is Hank Johnson. He represents this area. If you live in another part of Georgia, you have a different representative. If you live in another state, of course, you have a different representative. Look at your paper. The name of your U.S. representative is Hank Johnson. Okay, one more thing. The Speaker of the House of Representatives. The Speaker of the House is the leader of the House, the leader of these 435 people. They have a busy job. Do you recognize this person? Her name is Nancy Pelosi. She's from California. She is the Speaker of the House of Representatives. It's a very powerful position. Look at your paper. The name of the Speaker or leader of the House of Representatives is Nancy Pelosi. Here's a review with our picture. We have Congress, the legislative branch of the government. The job of Congress is to make federal laws. They make laws for the whole country, for the United States. There are 2 parts of Congress. The Senate. In the Senate, there are 100 people, or 100 senators, and they are elected for 6 years. The House of Representatives, they have 435 people, representatives, and they are elected for 2 years. And all these people are Congress, and they work in the U.S. Capitol building. Review time. You may want to pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Who makes federal laws? Congress. What are the 2 parts of the U.S. Congress? The House of Representatives and the Senate. How many U.S. senators are there? 100. We elect a U.S. senator for how many years? 6. Who does a U.S. senator represent? All the people of the state. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators now? In 2022, Raphael Warnock or Jon Ossoff. The House of Representatives has how many voting members? 435. We elect a U.S. representative for how many years? 2. Name your U.S. representative. So for 2022, the 4th Georgia District, it's Hank Johnson. Why do some states have more representatives than other states? Because some states have more people. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? In 2022, that person is Nancy Pelosi. End of page 16 about Congress. For Chapter 10, watch the video, USA Citizenship, page 17. Thank you for watching.